Hey guys, and welcome to my first deck tech video for Pokemon Pocket. Hopefully you don't mind the setup here. I think it's just a little bit more engaging to see my hands on screen and point at things and everything and actually see me touching and dragging the cards. So hopefully you don't mind this setup. Hopefully you're also playing the game yourself and you find this video to be pretty helpful, because I'm going to be sharing with you today one of my favorite decks that I have come up with. And I will tell you, I like making a lot of off-meta decks. I don't like playing the meta. I like coming up with my own fun ideas and off-meta cards and seeing how well I can do. And I have to say, this is one of the best ones I've come up with. Not only is it really different and fun, but it's actually also really competitive. And I've beat a ton of Fire Moltres decks with this as well. I'm going to kind of explain to you how this deck generally works, and at the end I'll pop in and just do a random game, win or lose. I'm going to show it on the video. So I call this deck right now, there's a lot of different things I could call this, but right now I've just named it Viridian Victory with a V-I-C-T-R-E-E, like Victreebel, because Victreebel is one of the core components of this deck. So let's start from the beginning here. I have one copy of Caterpie. Now Caterpie might seem like an odd inclusion because we're not running the Butterfree line, but Caterpie is actually just a really good searcher. So he can search for one. It's always going to search for one grass Pokemon in your deck and put it into your hand. Now this, in my opinion, is better than Meowth in this case, because the point of this deck is to reach our evolution line as quick as possible, being Beedrill and Victreebel. Meowth has the possibility of finding supporter cards, Pokeballs, things like that that we aren't really going to be making use of in the early game too much, because we want to speed our way to getting a Beedrill especially. So I have one inclusion of Caterpie because just having that chance of getting him in your opening hand and being able to draw typically anywhere between 1 to 3 cards, I think is really valuable. And in some instances I will actually sacrifice Caterpie, meaning I will leave him in the opening slot, even if it means he dies in the next turn, as long as I'm able to get one more card draw and guarantee getting, say, a Kakuna or a Weepinbell. It's really important. Now, you might say, why not run 2 Caterpies? I have tried that, but it does feel really bad when you use Caterpie to draw another Caterpie, because the second Caterpie will always be useless. So I think the one of is really nice. It's a really good way to thin out and search through your deck. And starting off, we have Weedle, which is a 50 HP, 20 attack power starter, and Bellsprout, which is 60 and 20. So the Bellsprout a little bit better in the early start because it has a little bit more HP. However, when you have the opportunity, always put down a Weedle before the Bellsprout, and that is because you will, in many instances, actually take your opponent off guard, because nobody is playing Beedrill, and I don't think anybody really knows what Beedrill even does. So they see the Weedle drop, they see the Kakuna drop, and they're not expecting a 70 attack, 1 energy attack off of Beedrill with a pretty hefty 120 HP. So I'm going to kind of show you the deck in action in a bit here, but dropping the Weedle and just as quickly as possible trying to find the Kakuna into the Beedrill is the line of play. And in the meantime, on the back line, you want to be building up at least one of your Bellsprouts into a Victreebel. Now, Victreebel, if you have not seen, excellent card with an amazing ability, Fragrance Trap. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, so it can't be on the bench, it has to be in the active spot. Once during your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's benched basic Pokemon to the active spot. So what this means is, if your opponent has their Mewtwo, don't forget, there's a lot of basic EX Pokemon that you can drag out. Those EX Pikachus, those EX Mewtwo's, the Moltres that they put out at the start of the game, and then they kind of like retreated because, well, they've already ramped up with their fire energy. Guess what? You can pull it out with Victreebel and just wail away for 60 attack, which is nothing to scoff at, and 2 energy, which is really not bad. Most importantly, he has 2 retreat, which is quite important because this is sort of a hit and run deck. It's a very aggressive deck. So what do I mean by this? What you can do is you can actually bring out Victreebel, use Fragrance Trap, bring out a basic Pokemon, especially a Pokemon that has only 60 or in some cases 70 HP, because I do use Giovanni for that reason, to buff up Vine Whip to be able to one-shot 70 HP basic Pokemon. You can Fragrance Trap, bring out something, and then you can retreat the Victreebel if you really need to. Say he's low on HP, or maybe you don't have a Giovanni and you need 70 attack instead of 60. You can retreat him because don't forget, Beedrill only has 1 energy. So typically you can put the Beedrill in, and within a turn or 2, especially if you're working on 2 different Victreebels, you will have enough energy to bring him back in no time with 2 more energy to keep attacking. So terms of my items and support, because I am running 3 Pokemon evolution lines, meaning, you know, each, the Weedle and the Bellsprout run 6 cards each for the full evolution line, and the Caterpie, my space is a little limited. I went with the Pokeballs because we're just searching for the Weedles and the Bellsprouts as quick as possible. Of course, we got Professor's Research to search through a deck as quick as possible as well. Cards are very important in this deck. There's going to be a lot of evolutions. Your hand's going to typically be pretty empty. I'm running 2 Giovannis just because being able to do 80 damage with Beedrill and 70 damage at Victreebel goes a long way. It's won me a lot of games. And then the one-off Erica for that surprise burst heal, because honestly, whenever I play grass decks, they're not a lot of them are using Erica because there's not a lot of room in decks. A lot of people are using Erica. Sorry, not Erica. They're using Sabrina, 2 Sabrinas, you know, stuff like that. So there's usually not too much room for Erica. I kind of like the burst heal. I'm not running Sabrina because honestly, we have Sabrina built in with Victreebel. Yes, it's something that has to be used when Victreebel is out, and it can only be used on a basic Pokemon, but you get to pick the Pokemon. And in my experimentation with this deck, I just find leaving out the Sabrina, subbing in the Giovannis, just works so much better. So, basic idea of this deck, rush your Beedrill, hit with them when you have to retreat, throw in the Victreebel, and you can kind of like bounce back and forth between the Victreebel and the Beedrill because the retreat costs are so low. The energy cost is so low on Beedrill. Like, you legit, like, don't forget about this. You drop Weedle turn 1, you put 1 energy on him, and he is set. Couple turns later, if you have the line, he turns in the Beedrill, and you don't have to do anything else. His retreat cost is 1. His energy for the attack is just 1. It's so aggressive. It's so good. And another thing to keep in mind, a lot of these EX Pokemon decks that are dominating the meta right now, they have 130 HP, somewhere between 120 with the Pikachus to 150 HP with even the Mewtwo. Now, of course, 70 plus 70, so 2 attacks from Beedrill would not kill Mewtwo. It's another reason why we're running 2 Giovanni. So typically, Beedrill is killing any of these big EX meta cards in 2 attacks only, and they do not expect it, believe me. So let's jump into a game. I promise you, I'm going to keep my hands on screen here. I'm not going to do any jump cuts or anything like that. Win or lose, I'm going to leave this in, even if I get demolished. But let's just see how this goes. Of course, this is a fun deck at the end of things, but it is a deck that can compete. It's not... Obviously, it's not going to have a super high win rate, but this is a deck that can compete. I've won against a lot of these big meta decks with this. So let's see how we do here. Alright, we are going first. Honestly, I haven't really paid attention too much to if I like going first or second with this deck more. Oh, perfect. We get the Caterpie start. So this is what we're looking for. This is why we got Caterpie in the deck. Because now we will be, and good, it's a deck that is not targeting either of our weaknesses, so this will be a nice demonstration. We get the Weedle, put him on the back line. I'm going to Professor's Research and hope that he doesn't red card me. Perfect, we get a Bellsprout. So this is like a really good start, but it's not like a miracle start, right? Like, you have a lot of starts like this because you have 5 basic Pokemon in your deck, and the Caterpie really helps you dig through your deck to find the evolution lines. So I am willing to let my Caterpie die here, even if it means that I get 1 more search. So we're going to evolve our Weedle. Hello? Okay, a little bit of a delay there. And then we're going to evolve our Bellsprout. And like I said, I'm okay with sacrificing him. If it just means that I find a Beedrill or the Victreebel, it's worth it. And there's our Victreebel. Beedrill is the preferred card to find early game just because you want to be rushing that damage. And he will kill the Caterpie. He is going to get a Primeape, though, which is such a strong card these days. Okay, he's forcing something out to kill with 100 damage. This is a very smart move on his part. So I'm going to give him the Kakuna just because I have the Victreebel ready to go on the back line there. This new Mankey that they added as that promo card boy is so powerful. He damages himself, so it kind of like just triggers the Primeape by default. It's so good. This is going to be a little bit troublesome because we are not going to have the energy that we need to trigger our Victreebel quite yet. But what we can do is at least try and stall He'll be able to withstand one attack because of his beefy HP, and I do have the Erica to heal. But he will kill me in 2 turns regardless, so I'm kind of hoping that he's silly enough to put something in his backline. Which he is definitely not. Let's see. The only thing I can do here is attack with the Victreebel for 60. He might have a potion though, so I'm just going to do this to be safe. He's going to kill my Victreebel. Not looking good for us. Okay. Well, I mean, we won because apparently he couldn't find his evolution line. This was really not a good example of this deck, though. Like, that was such a weird game. At least it kind of gave you a good example of how fast the deck can be in the beginning in terms of searching for cards and evolution lines. I don't really like that as an example, though. See if we can find one more game that's a bit of a better example. We get the Caterpie again, which is always a good thing to see. We want Caterpie in our opening hand. He definitely falls off after, if you don't get him in your opening hand, you can, in an emergency, kind of retreat a Weedle or a Bellsprout into the Caterpie to really search if you need cards. But he's kind of just a fallback just in case you get a really bad opening hand. He can kind of help you out. Looks like we're going up against a Psychic deck with a Wigglytuff build. Interesting. With Drowsy. I like seeing the more creative decks like that. Alright, so hopefully he doesn't have the evolution, which means that we'll be able to get 1 or 2 more card draws off of this Caterpie. Let's see. So, Weeping Bell. We have the full evolution line of Beedrill here ready to go, but we are going to keep searching anyway. Get our second Beedrill. Typically the way my games end, like, in not even that many turns, I'll have like 2 Beedrills on the bench and a Victreebel, and like there have been many games where I have the full evolution line just ready to go. Like 2 Beedrills, maybe even 1 or 2 Victreebels. That's my secret flick, by the way. I flick up and to the right, and I've been finding it a lot more consistent. I'm actually going to hold off on Bellsprout. I'm going to wait for the second Weedle. Because 2 Beedrills, I think, is more important than... I mean, we don't even have another Weeping Bell. So, um, start building up our Weeping Bell though. When I have the option, because don't forget, the Beedrill only takes 1 energy, so I like to at least get an energy on Weeping Bell when I can, since you need 2 for the attack and 2 for the retreat. The Beedrill is just so flexible. You can give it everything it needs in a single turn. And there's our Victreebel. So we will be able to pull the Jigglypuff, and it has 60 HP. Let's really hope he does not. Perfect. Okay, this is really good. So this is going to show you the power of this deck, and it also shows you that they may have no idea what's coming here. So they've been building up that Jigglypuff to go into the Wigglytuff, which is a really strong card. But let me show you the power of this deck. Evolve into the Victreebel. Jigglypuff is a basic Pokemon. And now we can build up a second Bellsprout. I just love all the sounds of the evolution. And then we can Fragrance Trap the Jigglypuff because we are able to choose. And guess what? It's got 60 HP and it is dead. And then if they hit Victreebel, get his HP down to like 40 or something, guess what? We can retreat him, put in the Beedrill. Beedrill's ready to go, 120 HP, 70 attack. Beedrill can get in some hits, and when he's about ready to die, I retreat him, and I can put in a fresh Victreebel or another fresh Beedrill, and it's just like attack trading, retreating. It's such a dynamic and fun deck. There's not a lot of decks that reward retreating, and I really built this deck around being rewarded for retreating, like hit and run, essentially. This Hypno may cause us some problems, though, with this sleep. And the sound attack for Psychic Pokemon is so crazy in this. I'm telling you, that flick up right, just the way the coin turns, it just always goes in my favor. There's our Weedle. Now we just need that Kakuna. So we don't have any basic Pokemon that we can target. So do I want to preserve the HP on my Victreebel, or do I want to attack this Clefable? I think we let Victreebel tank one more hit because there's really nothing that will be able to kill it. So in the meantime, let's just throw a... You know what? I'm going to put an energy on Victreebel just to help with when we do retreat him. He'll already have an extra energy on him. And that's just one of the things I love about this deck is, you know, the Beedrills require so little maintenance. It's like you can kind of prep your Victreebel for the retreat and then already have half or full energy ready to go to just get back in there and start swinging again. He gets them sleeps though, boy. Landing them sleeps with Hypno. Ooh, kept me asleep. But that's why we have the single Erica, to get that little burst heal, keep us alive, keep us in the game. I think I will use it here just... I mean, there's nothing he can use that can kill me, right? Well, he could retreat the Clefable, put in the Hypno and Giovanni and kill, so I will Erica here. I think Sleep doesn't let you, yeah, Sleep does not let you retreat. So we will heal up here. I will start prepping the second Bellsprout for the second Victreebel. Of course, we're not going up against a crazy meta deck, but I think this game here is a good example for you guys to kind of show you the potential of this deck and what I built it around. The combo of Victreebel and Beedrill and how they kind of really go together. It's not just like me randomly pairing 2 grass Pokemon. I put in some thought on how they kind of go together with the retreats and the hit and runs. And they're 2 Pokemon that are very, very rarely used. You don't really see anybody using these Pokemon in their deck. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do try this deck out and have some success or fun with it, please let me know. Also leave a like or a comment. Let me know. I'd love to know what you thought of the deck. Unfortunately, it's a little demanding. You know, having 2 Victreebels, 2 Beedrills, that might actually be pretty difficult for some people, especially if you're free to play. Okay, so we wake up. Professor's Research would be perfect here. Get our Kakuna and our Weeping Bell. Perfect. We are chipping away at the evolution line. Let's prep my second... no. I think what we do here is we retreat with the Victreebel. throw in a Beedrill, get that 70 attack sting. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I love this deck. Look at my hand. My hand is ready to go with a Beedrill and a Victreebel in hand. So we're going to have a full double Beedrill, double Victreebel bench ready to go. Opponent's taking a little bit to decide. And they conceded. That is the power of the Beedrill Victreebel deck. Really fun deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment if you try the deck out. I would love to know what you guys think of it. I'm going to continue to try and bring you guys some of my deck creations here on this channel, so let me know if you like this one, and I'll continue to upload some of my more interesting creations such as this one. Thanks for watching.